It was recently brought to my attention by a Trump supporter that only 5 presidents have won the presidency while losing the popular vote. He used it to tell me to get over it, Trump won. These presidents being John Quincy Adams, who was the first president not to reflect the will of the majority of Americans by opposing slavery, and under him, non-landholding white men were allowed to vote, bringing in Jackson. Next came Rutherford B. Hayes, who had so much vote tampering on both sides he actually lost the election, with the South threatening to go back to war. Instead, he cut a deal pulling the military out of the South in exchange for him becoming president, and all the rights blacks had won during the Civil War were crushed, and an age of tyranny and Jim Crow terrorism plagued the South for almost 80 years. Next came Benjamin Harrison, whom, if you are paying attention to my channel, realize that this video has replaced another one where I mixed up Garfield with Harrison and had a great narrative, but had to take it down. Too many presidents with similar looking beards in that time. He had kind of a mixed bag, an advocate for African Americans, but tepid at best. He went on a lot of vacations, sound familiar, and saw a big decrease in budget surplus. However, he did readjust the federal service from party-based to merit-based, so overall he was a semi-decent, meh president. Over 120 years later, George W. Bush won by the narrowest of margins that came down to the Supreme Court ruling. We got the Patriot Act, the expansive NSA, increased TSA security theater, 2 wars happening through illegitimate means, a massively increased debt, and banking rules stripped that led to a massive recession. So 25% of the time, losing the popular vote means that we either correct democracy to make it more democratic, as the president was a humble person and knew he didn't have a mandate, or 50% of the time we lose a huge number of rights because they know they lost but they don't care and don't really care about the will of the people. We know Trump isn't humble and is already working to block Muslims with green cards from entering and kicking out legal Mexican green card holders. Anyone who argues that Trump won get over it doesn't know the first thing about history and how this goes down. Not winning the popular vote either leads to a president being humble and fixing the problems of democracy, or a president being arrogant and trying to grab every single right away from us.